Welcome everyone to this live show. I am so excited you guys are here. I am so excited you guys are joining me for this live show today. And if you guys are hopping on live, hashtag live. If you catch the replay, hashtag replay for me. I just want to know who's joining, who's kind of showing up and who's hanging out with me today. So today we're going to chat a little bit about do you want crystal clarity when it comes to your messaging? And how human design with one of my clients was able to help kind of unlock her messaging and how she is able to kind of communicate and speak out to the world, her message, in a way that's going to help her create a bigger impact and help draw in her clients. So if this is something that is interesting to you, if you want to learn a little bit more of how your human design can help unlock your messaging, and how it works in a way that you can also implement that into your business. Hang out with me for a few minutes because we're going to chat about this specific instance, this specific client, and maybe you'll get a few nuggets of wisdom for yourself and for your own business too. So I want to start first with just a little bit of a backstory with this particular client, with this particular session, where this information is coming from. So for you, I just want to tell you about this client that I had. She came to me, we were she set up like a human design session with me. And she came to me, and one of the things that came up in our session was that she felt, had been feeling drained. And one of the topics that came up was particularly like around her launches. This client in particular was a business coach. She also did a lot of work in mindset work with her clients. On the personal side, she had 2 kids, so she was married and also in charge of a lot of her own business and a lot of the things that were going on the home side, on the home front of everything else that was going on in her life. So she was in charge of a lot. She also was very motivated, very eager to just figure out ways that she could work through this, that she could continue to kind of really stay motivated and really kind of manage her energy in her business. And she always, through her motivation, she always had an encouraging word for other people. So she was being in her presence was very, very magnetic. And when we first met, she was just struggling overall with this feeling of this not at a higher level, but this initial feeling of just drained feeling, especially when it came to her launches. In some cases with some of the other work that she was doing within her business. So that was something that she was talking about when she was kind of feeling stuck as well, with what she could do differently in her business, in her launches, so that she could better manage her energy, especially during the launch times that she had coming up in her business and those cycles in her business. And then it also trickled into how could she manage her energy in other ways in the clients and the programs that she was running. So within our first session of working together, we kind of brainstormed and created a plan for her to use some key pieces of her unique human design to implement into her next launch. And then also into some of the client sessions that she was running. She had one-to-one clients, she had group program, and just the few key pieces that she walked away with, she was able to kind of immediately put into action when it came around to some of the clients she was working with in her next launch. And her situation totally turned around because she was approaching it completely differently. So I don't know if you guys know anybody about like this. Maybe I just described you. Maybe this is something you felt or struggled with in your own business. If this is you, or if you know somebody like this, drop me a 1 in the comments, say, yep, this is me, raise your hand, drop me an emoji. Because this is just to paint the scene of this particular client and how we dove into some of the things she was struggling with in her business and how her human design ultimately helped turn that around a little bit for her. So if you're just jumping on live, again, hashtag live, say hello, let me know where you're joining in from. And if we have not yet met, my name is Jen Dice, and I am a human design and aligned business coach. I'm a former, experience from the marketing side of things. I ran a Pinterest marketing company for a couple of years. Prior to that, I did blogging. So I have a lot of experience on the organic marketing side of things. And then I'm blending a lot of that experience in with the human design side. So it's not about necessarily creating this marketing strategy just for the sake of creating a strategy and having a plan, but it's also how can we combine human design and how that particularly uniquely works towards your strengths and your unique gifts to create a marketing plan or a business plan that works for you. So today I mostly work with female online entrepreneurs who are ready to ditch the shoulds so they can create more freedom and joy in their business. On the personal side, I am a mom also of 2 girls. And if you follow me here on Instagram, or if you're following me elsewhere on some of these other platforms on social media, I am also somebody who in our free time, we enjoy spending time with the family out by our horse. We are definitely involved in the horse scene and very horse crazy, not just for me, something that I grew up with, but also I'm passing on to my kids. So that's just a little bit about me if we have not yet met. So just to repeat, what we're going to be talking about today is, so this question I have for you is, do you want crystal clarity in your messaging, and how human design can unlock your message to help draw in your clients? So if you're excited about this, drop me a 2 below, say hi, excited. If you're joining live again, #live, drop that in the comments. So let's break this down. I talked about this client that I worked with. I talked about, kind of painted the picture a little bit for you. So some of the things in this session that we were able to uncover by looking at her unique, I would say, not just your human design chart, but your energetic blueprint and how you're uniquely designed to show up and interact and be a part of the world around you and part of your environment. So one question that I asked her, and I want you guys to ask yourself, is number 1, how do you currently feel overall about the work that you're currently doing with your clients and in your business? So think that to yourself, like, how do you currently feel about where you're at in your business, the work that you're doing, the marketing that you're doing, the content that you're creating, the offers, the launches, all of those things come together to make up you and your business. So how do you feel overall with that? Because this was something that I did ask in our session, and she actually expressed at times that she felt drained, and especially the topic of launches came up in our session. And she talked about how just she felt a little bit drained with it all. It was difficult to manage her energy. And so that was something that had been a struggle for her, that she had, just had some questions around when we were talking. So I don't know if this is something that applies to you, but have you ever felt this way as well, where you're a little bit drained with some bit or piece of your business or your marketing? So if that is you, you can drop me a 3 in the comments below, or you can say, yep, that's me. I feel that little bit of draining at one time or another in my business. When I asked her that question, we looked at her chart and we were able to look at her whole energetic blueprint, her entire picture of who she was as a business owner, who she was as a person, and then also how her energy was designed and kind of laid out in her human design chart. And that kind of combines to help us figure out where she can start. And so the first place we started by looking at her chart, we're looking at ways that she could lean into and honor herself and her human design type as a manifesting generator. One of these ways that we just started to uncover for her was, how can we, number 1, help her not feel so drained with her launches, but also ways that she can manage her energy. And with her, something we discovered when looking at her specific chart was that she needed more freedom. She needed to feel a little bit like she had more free reign to lead her calls in more of an ebb and flow and free flowing way, not so structured. She needed more freedom in the content she was putting out, and then she needed more freedom in the launch structure. So the launches that she was kind of putting together, the freedom comes when you have that framework, but it's not so rigid. So she wanted the freedom to be able to say, okay, this is kind of the general topic of day 1 of this launch. But for her to not feel so boxed in, to stick to a script and to feel the ability to kind of ebb and flow with the energy of the people that were showing up for her in her launches or in her client sessions, so that she could actually take that topic and kind of, mold it or bend it in a way that was really more impactful for the people that were in her presence or working with her. So that was the first step, was just honoring her energy type as that manifesting generator, and ways we could look at how we could improve how she showed up through that lens to her launches. The second thing I asked her, and I want you guys to ask yourself this, is how do you feel when you're business. So how do you feel when you're showing up for a launch? How do you feel when you're showing up for a one-to-one client? How do you feel when you're showing up for groups? Are there differences in your energy for these different pieces and parts of your business? So ask yourself this. Is that true? Is that something that you're noticing for sure? Is that something you're noticing in different areas of your business? Maybe it's in how you're marketing or how you're delivering certain offers or certain ways that you're working with clients. But ask yourself, do you notice a difference in how you're feeling in different areas of your business? With her, we uncovered in her chart that her emotions play a role when she shows up in her business based on her chart, based on her energy, and based on her energetic blueprint. That her emotions play a part in how she shows up, and her emotions may or may not always be related to anything specific about her business. So with her, the biggest thing was also understanding that she, based on her design, was designed to show up and express herself through those emotions that were coming up. So for her, and for a lot of us, we're conditioned to say, okay, well, if things are coming up, if you have feelings coming up, like just kind of shove those off to the side, and we'll just put those in a box and we won't deal with them later because we've got other things we have to focus on. So it's kind of that suppression that a lot of us go through. So for her, understanding that the emotions that she's feeling, and those emotions can shift and ebb and flow in the different environments that she was in and with the different people that she was working with. So understanding how to tap into that and create and express from that emotional place, or and it doesn't have to be like overly emotionally charged, but being able to tap into her feeling and utilize that as a way to create and speak the words that needed to be spoken to the people that were around her, the message that people needed to hear. So she's designed to express herself through emotions. And because she's designed to express herself this way, this is how she feels heard, while also simultaneously being able to help others through whatever they're working on in her emotion, in their emotional journey or their journey. So this is your clients. This was through launches. This is through all the different ways she was showing up in her business. So kind of understanding how you're designed to express yourself it gives you that permission to lean into that a little bit so that you're not pushing it aside. Because with her, if she's pushing that aside and suppressing that, she's going to start to feel that energy drain because she's not tapping into that strength and that gift of being able to tap into her emotions and being able from that point, from being able to find the words that the people that she is trying to either draw in through her messaging and her marketing or in client sessions, she's not able to draw in and speak the words that those people need to hear. So by suppressing that, she's suppressing her message and what people honestly actually truly need to hear from her. And then the third question I asked her was, how can you lean into this within your business and your marketing? So we kind of looked at a couple of these things, and how can she then lean into that? Because her chart also showed that she had strengths that surrounded like her ability to create close connections and having like this natural ability for her words to have an echoing impact on others long after their time together was done. So for her to recognize that, being able to tap into the right spot to grab, tapping into her emotions, to be able to speak and express herself through her feelings and through what she's taking in from the outside world, through those emotions, that gives her the ability to actually speak and say the words that in that situation that person needs to hear. And when she speaks and says the words that the person needs to hear, whether it's in a one-to-one session, whether it's in a social media post, whether it's in an email, whether it's in a launch, that those words have a lasting impact on that person long after she leaves the room. And that was a superpower that we really uncovered and was really, really eye-opening for her. So from this, we created a plan with some ideas that she could immediately implement with her clients and her launches. And she walked away just feeling more energized and ready to kind of put these tips into action in her next launch. And so she was super excited. It's almost like she walked away with a little bit of a plan in her hands of what to do next, her next steps. And then also this giant permission slip to actually tap into who she was designed to be and not what maybe the online marketing space of the online world or society tends to kind of condition us to be. So it's like that big permission slip. So who wouldn't want a permission slip to actually be yourself? That sounds amazing, right? So these are just a few things, a few examples of how you can look at your own, like we can look at your energetic blueprint and figure out ways in areas that you have these strengths and have these gifts to kind of work in different areas of your business. So this is one example, and we actually focused a little bit more on like her energy management and her launch and how she's actually bringing through and speaking her truth and putting her message out to the world. And that is how human design in one instance can help you unlock those gifts and those abilities and those natural raw gifts that others need to hear and to have from you, because you need to express those to the world. So I hope this was a super helpful training. I hope this was helpful. If you guys, again, are on live, #live. If you're catching the replay, #replay. I see a couple of people on. So hello, everybody that is joining me live. Thank you so much. If this was helpful and you would like to continue the conversation beyond this live video, I'll put in the link in the comments below this post where you can go to grab your free workbook that goes along with this video. And we'll kind of continue on the discussion with human design. But once you grab your free workbook, guys, the best thing about that is that you're also a part of my email community. And the best thing about that is that once you're in my email and you're in my community there, that means you have the option to hit reply and ask me a question at any time when it comes to your human design. So you get to be a part of that. So I'll put the link below. Grab that free workbook that goes with the training, and we can continue the conversation there, because at any time you can hit reply to any of those emails that come through and ask a question, and we can continue the conversation there. So I hope you guys had a wonderful time. Thank you so much for joining me here. And I look forward to see you guys live again here next week. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. All right, guys, I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.